You are listening to Chamber, stories that live in the dark and wait for you in the quiet places. Tonight, we take a lonely drive into the storm and check into a motel that should have stayed forgotten. This is the Motel on Hollow Road. Rain carved black streaks down the windshield, each drop lit by the faint reflection of his own headlights. Jake leaned forward, gripping the wheel tighter than he realized. The wipers squealed back and forth. Smeared water, more darkness. No other cars for miles. He was somewhere in rural Pennsylvania, he thought. Or maybe he'd already crossed into West Virginia hours ago. The last road sign he'd seen was bent backward by wind, unreadable in the rain. It didn't really matter. Jake wasn't trying to get anywhere in particular. He was just leaving. His phone had died around 9. No charger in the car, no GPS. Just the dead screen, his reflection in it. Brown hair wet with sweat, circles under his eyes, mouth tight. He hated the way he looked right now. The storm thickened, and for a moment, he thought he saw something move between the trees, but it was just his tired eyes catching rain and shadow. The gas station he'd passed almost an hour ago was boarded up, lights off, sign rusted and swinging in the wind. Jake thought of his apartment, dark, empty. The note he'd left on the counter, just a few words. I can't do this anymore. He hadn't checked his messages. He didn't want to. The road curved hard to the right and Jake slowed to a crawl. His tires hissed on the wet asphalt, slid for a heartbeat, then caught again. He exhaled, and then he saw it. Through the rain and the moving trees, a faint red flicker, a neon sign. Hollow Pines Motel, Vacancy. Half the letters sputtered like they were dying. The buzz of the light was louder than the rain. Jake turned in, tires crunching on wet gravel. The lot was nearly empty. A single muddy pickup sat near the center. 12 rooms lined up in a row, single story, doors painted the color of rotten pumpkins. One window glowed yellow, the office. Jake parked near it, killed the engine, and sat for a second, listening to the rain hammer the roof. He didn't want to get out, but the thought of driving another hour in this storm felt worse. The bell chimed as he pushed the office door open. It smelled like dust, wet carpet, and cigarette ash. A yellow lamp flickered behind the counter. An old rotary phone sat unplugged. From the back room, a man emerged. Tall, bony, his skin pale and tight like it barely fit over the bones underneath. His smile stretched too wide. And when he spoke, his voice had an empty echo to it, like someone talking in a stairwell. Late night to be driving. Roads aren't safe in weather like this. Jake nodded quickly. Yeah, just need a room for the night. The man tilted his head, studying him. Room 7's open. End of the row. He slid a heavy brass key across the counter. Jake picked it up, cold and solid in his palm. As he turned to leave, the man added, Don't leave the room after midnight. Jake froze. Why? The man's smile deepened. Best not to. Jake didn't ask again. He stepped back into the rain, key cold in his hand, heart thudding a little faster than before. Room 7's door groaned on its hinges. The carpet squished under his shoes, damp. The air smelled metallic, like rust or old blood. He tossed his bag on the sagging mattress and looked around. Wallpaper peeled in curling strips. A dark stain spread across the ceiling above the bed. The bathroom door hung half open, its mirror cracked straight down the middle. Jake tried the TV. Static hissed back. The storm pounded the walls, but beneath it, he swore he heard something else. A slow, wet rhythm. Squelch, squelch, squelch. Like footsteps in mud. By 11:30, he was lying on the bed, staring at the ceiling. Sleep wouldn't come. Every creak of the building made his skin prickle. He closed his eyes anyway. Tap, tap, tap. His eyes snapped open. The sound came from the window. Slowly, Jake sat up. The curtains swayed slightly, though the window was closed. He stood, barefoot on damp carpet, touched the fabric. Movement on the other side. A shadow. A head. Tilting. Slowly. He pulled the curtain back an inch. A woman stood in the rain. Long hair plastered to her face. A nightgown stuck to her skin. Her arms hung stiff and straight. Her head twitched once, twice, then snapped upward. Her eyes glowed pale white. Jake stumbled back, hitting the nightstand. The lamp toppled with a soft thud. The tapping grew louder. Windows, walls, door. He realized it wasn't rain hitting the glass anymore. It was fingers. Shadows pressed against the window, faces pale and bloated like drowned corpses. Silent mouths opened and closed. The doorknob rattled. Metal clinked against the frame. Jake lunged for the key, jamming it into the lock. Whispers seeped through the cracks, words he couldn't understand. Then, nothing. Minutes passed. Or maybe an hour. Jake sat on the floor, shaking, watching the window. Shadows moved in the stormlight. One pressed a hand to the glass, fingers long and thin, and then it faded. Sometime after dawn, the room grew brighter, quiet. Jake crept to the window. The lot was empty. No footprints. No puddles disturbed. He opened the door cautiously. The air outside smelled clean, like rain and pine. He walked to the office. The bell didn't chime this time. Dust coated the counter. The lamp was cold. On the wall hung a single frame, a faded newspaper clipping. 7 dead in Hollow Pines Motel, flood, 1963. Beneath it, the photo of the victims. Jake's stomach dropped. He knew those faces. They had been at his window all night.
He ran to his car, heart hammering, keys shaking in his hand. The engine roared to life. Gravel sprayed as he tore out of the lot. He didn't look back. 10 miles down the road, he let out a long, shaky breath. The storm had passed. Sunlight cut through the trees in thin, golden beams. He felt foolish. He told himself it was a dream, a hallucination, exhaustion and fear playing tricks. Then he saw it. Through the trees ahead, buzzing in the morning light. Hollow Pines Motel, Vacancy. He hit the brakes. Gravel spat out behind him. His heart skipped. He turned his head slowly. Behind him, the road was empty. The motel sign flickered, right where it had been the night before. Jake's hand slipped from the wheel. The car idled in the gravel. And for just a moment, In the rearview mirror, he thought he saw someone in the back seat.
Thank you for entering chamber. Until next time, leave the lights on.